I always envisioned like a war zone to be like Saving Private Ryan, or like American Sniper. The thing that struck me most about the people in Gaza is that even though there's bombs dropping everywhere, even though it's supposed to be chaos, it's supposed to be, you know, a bunch of people screaming, shouting, I expect to see like, honestly, I expected to see like military folk when I was there too. Like when I went there, I was like, all right, where's the police, military? Like I'm going to see uniforms,
Where's
flags.
Hamas?
Where's Hamas?
Yeah.
I was like, they're not there. It's like, I didn't see a single militant or combatant while we were there, whether we were driving through the streets, whether I was walking around like after the night shift. Like I'd go around with one of our British colleagues, Dr. Omar Al-Taji. He's like fluent in Arabic. So I don't speak Arabic. So
You don't?
yeah, I don't speak Arabic.
Not at all?
Not at all. I got really good at Google Translate.
You can read it?
but I can read it, but I can't speak it or understand. I know how to read because the letters are the same as Urdu in Pakistan. So I can speak Urdu and the letters are the same. So you can like read it. I mean, you can read Spanish words, right?
That's true.
But I don't know if maybe you do speak fluent Spanish, but
Yeah.
but I don't speak Arabic. But I was using Google Translate to like talk to the patients and whatnot. But then when Dr. Taji was like going around with me, it's really easy to walk around at night and kind of get the story of the people there, and like that's when you really see, like Gaza, you really see the like what's going on there, not just the hospital version of it, but what's going on in the streets. And it was just not at all what I expected in terms of a human response to a war zone. Like these people have been starved, they've been targeted, their kids have been shot at, they've had bombs dropped on them, and they've maintained this level of civility that is envious of any civilized society in the world. And I've been to poverty-stricken areas all over the world. Even here, like you can go to South Central. You don't get that type of dignified response. It's like we tend to have a very different response. Like as humans, they somehow crack the code on how do you maintain this element of dignity, self-respect, and civility, regardless of what's happening around you. And that was something that I couldn't quite understand.
You gave me a statement the other day. We were talking, and we were talking about like Hakuna Matata or something. I mean, there was a
Teglegish.
Yeah.
Teglegish.
What
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, teglegish.
Teglegish.
Which means like, don't worry. But when they say teglegish, like that's when you worry. So when you hear like bombs dropping, they're like, it's okay, teglegish. Like we're gonna be fine. But that's who they are. Like they have an extreme. The word is yaqeen in Arabic, but it's certainty. They just, and I think it's multifold. I think it comes from their faith. I think it comes from almost a century worth of being in an occupied land and what some people may call an open air prison. And so they, a lot of them have never left Gaza. Most of them have never, ever left Gaza.
Which is only 25 miles long,
Yes.
6 miles wide.
Yes, exactly. And they have had, and this exact same thing has happened multiple times. I think like the average 6-year-old there has been through multiple wars, so this isn't new for them. So I think it speaks to the history of the land, and I think it speaks to their faith, the way that they've responded, and the way that they have this like teglegish, like it's gonna be fine, don't worry about it. But there's a couple things I wanted to talk about regarding that. As anesthesiologists, we give Versed before the patient rolls in, or especially if you're like somebody who's like this white-looking girl with an American flag on you, and you're like, oh, I'm about to put you to sleep. Like, that's very stressful for the average citizen there.
You think you're white looking?
I am white-looking in comparison to there.
Oh.
Yeah.
He admitted it.
Yeah.
All right.
There, I'm white-looking. I don't
Yeah.
cover my hair and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got an American flag. No, I don't think I'm white looking here. I know that by now. But so they don't need Versed. They're so at peace. Like I don't have all the medicine I'm supposed to give them. I'll tell the anecdote of like there was a 90-year-old woman who'd been through the Nakba, has been through multiple wars, and she had been sitting on this hip fracture for like 8 months now because they were doing obviously much more acute things. And so during one of the displacements, she broke her hip and like trying to rush out and get out of her home. And I want to talk about displacement again later because I think it's so important that you brought that up because that's one of the things that's affecting them the most. But so she'd been sitting on this broken hip, which we all know is very, very painful. And it become very complicated. And the ortho surgeon that was with us, who was British, he didn't have all of his tools that he needed for this complicated operation. And we were actually running out of gas and propofol. So I did a spinal for her. And so we were getting into like 3 hours of the operation and the spinal's wearing off. And she's starting to feel everything in this open procedure. And she's
And the
awake.
spinals where you numb the nerve so the patient can't feel.
Exactly. From the hips down, patient can't feel anything, but the dose, it's a one-time shot. It has a length of time in which it lasts, which is like around 2 hours. So we're getting to 3 hours and she's starting to feel everything. Like her facial expression does not change. She's just like looking at me with a smile on her face, and she's like asking me about my kids and praying for me. She's like, I can't believe you left your kids to come and here, and like, and praying for me and my family. And I'm like apologizing to her, like, this is my one job, is to keep a person asleep and safe. And I'm doing neither of those things. And I'm like freaking out and sweating bullets. And I'm like normally a calmish person. And she's the one who's bringing me calm and bringing me ease. And that's just like one small anecdote of what we felt throughout the entire our time
You
there.
were bringing her calm and ease because she was, but
Yeah.
you were listening to her. You were responding to her
Yeah.
questions, and that's what it sounds like was relaxing to her.
Yeah.
One of the powerful things that Samir said to me the other day was, he said, you put these people to sleep. A lot of people in the United States, they're screaming and yelling, talking about some person or some girl, and he's like, there it was just like prayer. Like they were just in constant prayer.
Yeah.
Just keeps them totally, I don't know, at ease, or teglegish.
Yeah, teglegish. We come back and it's
that's
like
your subconscious.
Yeah, that's their subconscious. And then they just have this smile and they say like teglegish.